Happy Friday. Welcome back to Controversial Conservative. I'm Dan Belcher. I am a candidate for U.S. Congress, 5th District, and we have been going over a book, Confrontational Politics, to kind of get us prepared, a little bit more prepared to actually engage in confrontation with the liberals. This day and age, we're actually going to have to be more aggressive with what it is that we're doing in response to what the Democrats are doing. So what I wanted to do is to utilize this book, which is full of great information on what it is that is going to help us as conservatives to be able to figure out what's going on in a confrontation with the Democrats and with the liberals. So we've already started with a couple of chapters. We've gotten them under our belt, which essentially went over how we are made up as conservatives and also how liberals are made up, and how that differentiation puts us at complete odds when debating. Conservatives are a little bit more passive. We want to be agreeable. Liberals, they just want control, and they don't care how they get it. So as we continue forward, then we're going to continue to put these new tools in our tool belt, and we'll just kind of continue to build on them each week as we add a chapter or two every Friday. So today we're actually going to go over the way that Democrats and liberals continually push their agenda. What we're going to look at is the difference between the path that the Democrats and the liberals take and the path that conservatives and Republicans take, and how the Democrats are constantly pushing the agenda forward. They're constantly pushing to gain more ground. And what they're doing is they are continuing to take up different causes. And what we'll do is we'll talk about those different causes and how they're created and how they're presented. But what we have to understand is that the Democrats, and especially the Democrat legislators, they are always keeping a cause moving forward, so that the next Democrat or the next legislator or the next person who decides to try to start a movement behind whatever cause it is that they've picked up at that time, they want to make sure that it's ready to go. And so the way that they're doing that is they want to either exploit something that is currently going on as far as the cause of the day, or they want to manufacture the actual cause itself. So essentially what they're trying to do is get attention and to get society to take notice of something specific. Now, it doesn't even matter if the cause is an actual thing. They may just make something up, because what they want to do is just to mold the narrative, and they want to create in the minds of the people what it is that they're trying to present out, whether it's true or not. The cause itself is actually secondary to what it is that their objective is, because what's happening is they're just taking this opportunity to organize. See, this is going to be a fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats, and we'll get to that on the other side of the board, is they are just looking for an opportunity to create in the minds of people a certain thought process. And so once they get that thought process, then it gives them so many more other opportunities to push that agenda forward. So whenever they actually get a topic that they want to push forward, they get a cause, the cause of the day, they're actually looking at it and seeing how long of a shelf life this cause has, because they want to run it until the wheels fall off, essentially. So if it's something that is very short-lived, then they've not been very effective in doing what it is that they're trying to do. So whatever they choose has to have a long shelf life. Now, they also have an ultimate goal. What's the goal? Well, the difference between a Republican and conservative and a Democrat and a liberal is government intervention. Republicans were free market capitalists. We want society to be able to regulate itself, which it does. And the Democrat and the liberal, what they want is the government to get involved in everything. And so, obviously, as a result of that, you have people who are dependent on government subsidies, government handouts, and then they're able to be controlled and then they're able to be manipulated. So, how are they doing this? We're going to call this populist imagery, because whether it's manufactured or it's a real cause is irrelevant to them. Because what's going to happen is, as long as they get it in the minds of the population that this is justified, that we've created a problem, and then guess what? We need the solution, which is always what? Government intervention. So there's no real support that's needed for whatever the cause is, because it may be made up. So we're going to go into like climate change. We have no real support that's needed to justify climate change with the liberal and the Democrat, because as long as they have a perception of that support. So let's just take climate change for an example. There's really no way to prove or to disprove what it is that they're trying to say is or isn't happening. So they can manufacture whatever they want, and then what they do is they tug at the heartstrings and they say, okay, well, if we don't do something about this and we don't turn it over to the government, then all of the kids' futures are going to be washed down the river. Everybody's going to die. So this is just a perfect example of one of their manufactured crises, that really doesn't have to have one iota of factual support behind it. So remember, anytime that the Democrats and liberals are trying to push a narrative, first of all, you're going to have to look at it on whether it's actually true or if it's just completely made up. Because they don't have to have facts on their side. They just have to have a perception on their side. So this will give us a good idea of what to look at whenever we're looking at the liberals themselves. Now, the conservatives, and this is where I really want to get into a little bit more of adjustments that can be made, because to Republicans and to conservatives, the cause is absolutely and of the utmost importance. Okay? Remember, the liberals and the Democrats, they can just make up a cause, because their objective is not to actually see something come to fruition out of the cause that they're picking. They just want to advance organization. See, because they're going to take whatever it is that they're able to do at that moment in time, and then the next person's going to pick it up and they're going to move the ball a little further. Well, the difference between us as conservatives is the cause is all encompassing important to us. However, the difference that we're missing is that we're not looking at the organizational opportunities after that cause, quote unquote, has been accomplished. See, we think that once we get involved and we prove our point and we make it abundantly clear that this is the way that it should be, that everything's all done. When in reality, we're missing an opportunity for us to take that cause or take that agenda item and to do exactly what the Democrats are doing, do exactly what the liberals are doing, and actually take that as an opportunity to organize recruitment, learn more about it, which is education opportunities, and then a long-range goal. So the difference that we have as conservatives than the liberal counterpart is that we believe in our goals, we believe in our causes, however, we are short-sighted in what it is that the ultimate objective could be. See, the liberals, they don't even care about what it is that they're even talking about, but they take the impression that they have with society and they turn that into fundraising, organizing, pushing that agenda forward. And so what we've got to do is stop doing battle and disbanding. See, we got it. We go react, we do battle, we disband. So we have a particular issue that's on the table, and hey, we've done enough. We think that we've proved our point, and then we go home. So we also meet, eat, and retreat. We are missing the follow-through that is required to make sure that we are setting up these causes and setting up these beliefs and setting up these convictions in a way that after we're done with them, they can be picked up and advanced again. So like I was even saying with the legislators, especially the Democrat legislators, there are bills and agenda items that are just sitting there on the floor that are just wrapped up and ready to go, waiting for the next session, for that next liberal Democrat to come in that seat and to put that on the floor, up for a vote. So what we've done as Republicans is every time we feel that we have won, or we feel that we have done enough to win the argument on a particular issue, then we go ahead and we set that down and we go about our business. That, in my opinion, is what we're going to have to start giving a lot more attention to. Because obviously the way that Republicans are set up fundamentally, I mean, we work hard, we want to be left alone, we want to be able to raise our family, and we don't want to have to deal with anybody in our business. And that's all well and good. The problem is that these Democrats are constantly active. They're constantly moving forward. They're constantly game planning. They're constantly in the midst of battle to push that additional inch. So I'm hoping that whenever we get through with this book, that it'll give us a little bit more of a thought process towards running through the finish line. You know, you have that to where you run through the tape whenever you're in a race. We are bogged down with everyday life, and so it's very easy for us to feel like we've won and that's enough. Well, the Democrats are at it constantly. So if we don't start to utilize their battle plan against them, they're going to continue to win on issues like abortion, issues like gun control, issues like illegal immigration. These are things that have been part of the Democrat arsenal for years and years and years. And so each time they push a little further and then they back off a little bit. They push a little further and then they back off a little bit. We have got to be as fervent in our energy as they are, or else they're going to continue to gain ground. So I'd like to hear what kind of questions you guys might have. DanTheManCongress.com. Hopefully you guys are getting a little bit of content that makes you think and also better equips you for the next time that you are involved in a situation that maybe you're not comfortable with, or maybe you think that you can continue to educate yourself to where you're better prepared for the next conversation. So if you guys have any questions, go to my website. Also comment, like, share this page, and look forward to seeing you next week.
CDLUniversity.org. At CDL University, and another success, another one drives a truck. Hey, gonna help you too, another one drives a truck.
Dear Miller, CDL University. For some of you, it's already too late. You're standing over in a dirt field, waiting in line to back a truck, and it's been 3 weeks now. If you're gonna do this, do it right. Come to CDL University. Get your CDL.
Hey everybody, Todd Tucker here. Are you tired of Big Mobile making deals with dirty DC politicians to amplify liberals and silence conservatives like you? Do you want the same quality of service that you get from your current provider without supporting leftist, anti-American subversives like Kendra Horn and Nancy Pelosi? Well, Patriot Mobile can help you, and they can make a great deal. Ask what Patriot Mobile can do for you, and ask what Patriot Mobile can do for your country. Call Patriot Mobile today at 877-367-7524. 877-367-7524. Be a patriot. Join Patriot Mobile.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Bunker here at OTUmedia. I am Zane. I will be your host for this broadcast of Note Panthera, our new sports show that'll be airing here on OTU. Man, I really don't know what to say about football right now. It's going amazing for me. I'm a big old cheesehead. I'm liking sitting at 6-1 right now, and it's looking like we might even go to 7-1 this weekend, because I just got news that Patrick Mahomes will not play on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes is not going to play on Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. Now, there's still a chance. I am not going to count Kansas City out just because they don't have Patrick Mahomes. I still think that this can be an excellent game, even with their backup quarterback, Matt Moore, I think is his name. And Andy Reid is a fantastic head coach. I don't think that the Kansas City Chiefs are in an awful position, especially playing at home. So I think that that's still going to be an excellent game. Rodgers coming off of a a week against the Raiders with a perfect passer rating and 6 touchdowns, 5 receiving touchdowns and one rushing touchdown, which he did very nicely. Man, it's a great year to be a Cheesehead. I'm having a great time watching my team this year with new head coach Matt LaFleur leading things. Man. So yesterday was Thursday Night Football. We got to, I say we got to see, but really I watched about the first half and I was like, I'm done. We saw the Vikings play the Redskins, which that game ended up being, let's see here. Okay, so that game was a 19-9 victory for the Vikings. The Kirk Cousins hype train is still happening as it should be. I don't see any reason as to why you would not be on the hype train for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings right now. I will say my personal opinion is that Kirk Cousins is going to go back to Kirk Cousins when this hype train does die down. And this cycle might even start all over again. Who knows? Vikings are looking amazing, though, sitting comfortably at number 2 in the NFC North, with Green Bay leading that division. And I believe, I want to say Chicago's at the bottom at 3-3 right now, but Detroit might also be, because I'm pretty sure they lost this last weekend too. So, Corey, you've heard about this too. We've had discussions about this. There are rumors circling about that Tom Brady might be done with the Pats after this year. He's apparently allegedly he's selling his house. Allegedly his trainer is selling his house. And, Brady's contract is up after this year, I believe, as well. So, I don't know. Man, I just don't even know what other team he could really realistically go to. I don't see Tom Brady moving on to another team. I personally see Tom Brady, if he doesn't stay with the Pats and re-sign, he will retire. Tom Brady is a Patriot, and I will always see him as a Patriot. He just would not look good in another team's uniform. I just don't think he would. Another thing happening right now, there's a lot of discussion going on for the starting quarterback position for the Chicago Bears, reasonably so. Mitchell Trubisky has been super inaccurate this year. Their backup quarterback, Chase Daniel, doesn't do much better, which is a shame. Their whole offensive, their playbook that Matt Nagy likes to use, a very pass play kind of guy, just won't work with a quarterback like Mitchell Trubisky, I don't think. He just hasn't shown that he can be accurate enough to be able to perform those kinds of plays. And it's a shame because Chicago doesn't have a bad running back. Let's see here. Tariq Cohen, David Montgomery. Both of those guys, David Montgomery, I believe, is their starting one. David Montgomery is not a bad running back. It's just a shame that they don't use him ever to do anything to try and advance themselves up the field. It's a wasted defense is what it is, in my opinion. Really is. With Khalil Mack on the other side of the ball, it's a wasted defense for an offense that cannot perform. And I love the Bears. I really do. I want to see them get a new quarterback, and I want to see them do amazing. I don't think they've been to the Super Bowl since 2000. I think the last time they went was 2006. Oh man. There's been talk about the idea, nothing's actually gonna come from this, I don't think, but people have been talking about the possibility of someone like Cam Newton who it doesn't seem like the Panthers are going to be starting again. They're doing just fine without him. And I think Cam Newton's too good of a talent to be on the bench. So, the Bears could be looking at possibly trading for Cam Newton. Eli Manning is still not retired. He could possibly be a better option than Mitch Trubisky or Chase Daniel. We'll just have... I don't think any of those moves are actually going to be made. I don't think that Eli Manning is going to retire, and I don't think that Eli Manning is going to leave the New York Giants. So I guess we'll just have to see. But I don't foresee Cam Newton sitting on the bench at Carolina either. Oh, man. So now another team of hot topic recently, the Cowboys, have been performing meh this season. They're 4-3. They beat the Eagles this past weekend, I believe, in a very crushing victory. They steamrolled them. It was bad. I'm really excited that they got it together during that game, though. Dak Prescott, I don't think, is a bad quarterback, and I don't think that Dallas should have any reason to doubt Dak Prescott. I think that they are 100% justified in sticking beside him. Jason Garrett could probably be called into question as the head coach going forward. But he's been in the hot seat for a cool second now. There's no way he has not been in the hot seat for a cool second now. But I'm very excited to see the Cowboys moving forward now that they seem to have a little bit of fire back in them after losing 3 straight games. They lost 3 straight games to the Packers was one of them. I did watch that game. Let's see here. Are they on bye this week? They are. I think so. So yeah, Dallas defeated Philadelphia in a 37-10 victory, and it looks like they lost to the Jets, the Packers, and the Saints consecutively, which, I think the Cowboys still could have won the Packers game. Not with the way that they played. If they played like they did against the Eagles, obviously, I think that they could have. Against the Saints and Teddy Bridgewater, who has been performing phenomenally as a backup quarterback, there are organizations that would love to have a backup quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater as their starter. Chicago. I don't think that the Cowboys should feel bad for losing either of those games. Those are both phenomenal teams this year. Teddy Bridgewater has just come out of nowhere, and what it seems like. So the Cowboys are going to be looking good going forward. I don't think that there's any reason to really worry about them. Something else I want to talk about, though. This team is talked about every week, in my opinion, because they are winning the suckfest in the NFL right now. The Miami Dolphins sitting at 0-6. My current heroes right now in the NFL. There was a game a couple weeks ago, and one of our buddies sent a snap about a play that is probably the most Dolphins thing that I've heard all season. I think it was the Redskins who had gone for an onside kick, and the percentage for an onside kick to work is already abysmally low. And not only did the Dolphins allow that onside kick to be recovered, but they allowed it to be returned for a touchdown, sealing a victory for the Redskins against the Dolphins, in what could have been their one victory for the season. Boy, old Ryan Fitzpatrick cannot will a win for Miami this year, I don't think. And if he can, it will probably happen on Monday night against the Steelers and Mason Rudolph. But we will see. As for this week's matchups for Week 8, oh man. So we already got news that Patrick Mahomes is not going to be playing Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. So I think it's safe to say that I'm going to take Green Bay on that one. The Chargers and Bears, I think that that's looking to be a very 50-50 shot game, depending on how the defense decides to show up for Chicago. And I really hope that they do. Even though their offense is not scoring on the other side of the ball, I hope they take pride in knowing that it's still a super fun game to watch whenever they're on the defensive end. But I think I'll take the Bears because it's at Soldier Field. I'll take the Bears over the Chargers. Browns and Pats. I'm still on the Baker Mayfield hype train. I know everybody else has left. I still love the Browns either way. I think that they're a phenomenal team that just hasn't quite been able to get going these few games. They're a young team. I think that's the better way to put it. They're a young team with first-year head coach Freddie Kitchens. Baker Mayfield still hasn't quite found it yet in the NFL, but I think that they're getting better every week, and I think that last week's loss against the Seahawks isn't necessarily their fault either. I think that was a very poorly officiated game that I think that should have gone the Browns' way, if not for a few calls. But, you win some, you lose some. Though that doesn't excuse how poor the officiating actually has been this season. Good Lord, the officiating's been awful. Seahawks and Falcons, that's an easy one. I'm going to take Russell Wilson and the Seahawks any day over the Falcons, especially since I think Matt Ryan might still be injured. Eagles and Bills. I think the Bills are going to blow the Eagles out. I think the Eagles still aren't going to show up on prime time, I guess it's Sunday. So either way, I think that they're going to bumble around again like they did against the Cowboys. Giants and Lions. My boy Matty Stafford, I really hope he has a good game. He deserves it. They should have had that victory over Green Bay, but a few phantom face mask calls and some bad PI calls too, I believe, really stopped them from making that victory. So I'm going to take the Lions over the Giants. Bucks and Titans. Oh boy, I don't know, Corey. Buccaneers or Titans? The Bucks are 2-4 and the Titans are 3-4. Just based off of those.
Bucks. You're
gonna take the Bucks?
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here. We're gonna take the Bucks. Broncos and Colts. You know what? I'm gonna stick with the Colts. I think Joe Flacco's still gonna continue to underperform, and Jacoby Brissett's still gonna light the league on fire like he's been doing. Very underappreciated. I don't think that enough people are talking about the Colts' success so far this year. I know that they're 4-2. It's not a phenomenal record, better than a lot of teams though. And I think that they're in a good position. I think that they're easy playoff contenders, and they could even go all the way. The Bungles and the Rams. I think the Bungles are going to find themselves at 0-8 after Week 8. Jets and Jaguars all the way. I want to see Gardner Minshew continue to just be awesome on the field, I guess. The Cardinals and Saints. Depending on, there's talk that Drew Brees might actually come back for this game against the Cardinals. In my personal opinion, if he's going to come back, it might as well be against the Cardinals, who are breaking pretty even this season so far. I think they're on a winning streak right now. So I'm going to take the Saints over that. I say that Drew Brees probably would be good to play, or at least try to play him. If not, oh no, the Saints have to send in Teddy Bridgewater to win another game. Worst case scenario, Teddy Bridgewater goes in and wins it. Panthers and 49ers. I think that this will be the first actual game that the San Francisco 49ers have faced this season. The Steelers have been out Ben Roethlisberger. The Buccaneers haven't been performing great. They played the Bengals in week 2. they absolutely made a laughing stock of the Browns in Week 4. And Week 5, they played a Los Angeles Rams team that has been looking very inconsistent this season. So I'm hoping that the 49ers will find themselves at 7-0. I really like I like watching Nick Bosa and Richard Sherman. I think that George Kittle is an absolutely amazing tight end to watch as well. So I'm going to go 49ers on that one. Let's see here. After that, we have the Raiders and the Texans. This is another 50-50 game, I think, depending on how poopy the Raiders quarterback decision decides to be. I guess it's poopy either way. Yeah, you know what? Houston. Houston's going to win that one. I don't think that the Raiders can do it. I redact my previous statement. I think that Houston's going to blow them out of the water. Monday night with Steelers and the Dolphins. Will Ryan Fitzpatrick be able to will a win for Miami? Corey, what do you think?
Fitz magic all the way.
Fitz magic all the way. We're going to take the Dolphins then. And after that, with these weekend predictions, I think we're going to call it good for our first segment of Note Panthera. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to check out OTU's Patreon as well as the Facebook page. And remember that you can always find us here at the Bunker. Feel free to ask questions and let us know what you thought. Deuces.
Introducing all-new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula with 17 essential supplements. When it matters most, you've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
Drives a truck. Visit cdluniversity.org. At CDL University, and another success, another one drives a truck. Hey, gonna help you too. Another one drives a truck.
Who has a warrant for their arrest? I don't have any identification on me. I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm here for a budget board meeting so I can talk to the county about Sheriff P.D. Taylor.
A confrontation at the Oklahoma County Courthouse this morning when a man with a warrant out for his arrest walked inside to go to a meeting. That man, Adam Modisette, said he was hoping to talk at the county budget board meeting about the sheriff's response and actions surrounding their relationship with ICE. Fox 25's investigative reporter Erica Stanish has got your back looking into his arrest and why it has many upset tonight. Erica.
Yeah, Wendy, those with Modisette at the courthouse this morning recording the confrontation say they believe he was arrested so those at the meeting couldn't hear what he wanted to say. But the sheriff's office says he had a warrant and they've given him several warnings in the past to get it taken care of, but he never did. According to online documents, Ray Adam Modisette was cited last year for unlawfully carrying a weapon in June. Don Spencer with the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association says Modisette was peacefully carrying his weapon during a traffic stop, though admit Modisette didn't have a permit to carry. Online records show on August 13, 2018, a warrant was issued for his arrest. On Thursday,
I am a combat veteran, Marine, and going to jail for exercising my Second Amendment during a traffic stop, which proves empirically I was in a vehicle that I own with a pistol that I also legally own.
Bryce Crawford took the video and says Modisette wanted to talk to officials about the sheriff's office relationship with ICE.
I'm here for a budget board meeting so I can talk to the county about Sheriff P.D. Taylor releasing illegal immigrant rapists into our community.
It says he believes officers standing by to take his friend into custody was some sort of setup.
They certainly did not want to allow him to attend that meeting. There were forces at work that would not allow him to hardly even get in the building.
But the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office says they were set up.
Was a setup that he completely set up. I mean, he had his camera ready to go. He was screaming misinformation while he was being arrested. And once he got behind closed doors, he calmed down and it was no big deal.
Public Information Officer Mark Myers says deputies were simply doing their jobs.
This had nothing to do with Second Amendment rights. This had nothing to do with him going to this meeting. This had everything to do with him having a warrant and being arrested on that complaint.
Also pointing out Modisette likely knew he would be arrested.
It's a misdemeanor warrant. Take care of it. It's not that difficult. I believe it's $1,000 for a bond, like $100, get out. And so he refused to do that. Even reached out to us on social media and said that he planned on coming down to Oklahoma County and getting arrested. This is all played out. It was all planned.
The Second Amendment Association releasing this statement tonight saying, quote, "We find it very convenient that this arrest took place before Adam was going to exercise his First Amendment right by being critical of the sheriff's action with a rapist, illegal alien in violation of an ICE detainer. They have known where he lives for over a year, but today that warrant was enforced." Crawford tells me that Modisette told him not to bail him out, saying he doesn't want to pay the state money for what's transpired.
I am a combat veteran, Marine, and going to jail for exercising my Second Amendment during a traffic stop.
An arrest at the Oklahoma County building causes quite the scene.
And it's pitting two elected officials against one another, the sheriff and a county commissioner. News 9's Kaylee Bourgeois is live with this one in the newsroom. Kaylee?
Well, there are definitely some strong opinions on both sides here on why this man was arrested and who is ultimately responsible. Documents show the Oklahoma County Sheriff had a warrant for Ray Adam Modisette's arrest since summer 2018 for carrying a firearm illegally. Yesterday, Modisette entered a county building downtown and was arrested on that warrant. As he was walked to the jail, Modisette loudly voiced his grievances with the sheriff as his friend recorded video. The Oklahoma Second Amendment Association says, quote, "This is a perfect example of why constitutional carry is so important for the state of Oklahoma." But the sheriff's office says this wasn't a gun issue, it was a setup.
This is 100% a partnership, unfortunately, with one of our elected officials, Commissioner Kevin Calvey. Commissioner Kevin Calvey is the individual who has reached out to media about this specific incident.
The FOP also blamed County Commissioner Kevin Calvey in a Facebook post. In response, Modisette says this was not a setup, and he says Calvey was not involved.
Who wants to get arrested? Have you been inside Oklahoma County Jail? It sucks in there.
Did you expect to get arrested?
I expect to get arrested every single day.
However, a Facebook comment by Modisette on the sheriff's Facebook page 3 days ago said in part, quote, "I'm a future resident of PD's horror house." Modisette admits he does use Facebook to communicate with the sheriff's office. It's an online presence Myers finds questionable.
If you go to his Facebook page, he uses a cartoon character that is associated with white supremacy, with anti-Semitic ties.
And Calvey did not respond to request for comment to News 9. In the newsroom, Kaylee Bourgeois, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Hearing none, moving forward, we do have one item for public comment. Is it Mr. Modisette? Thank you. I want to make sure I said that right. Welcome to our meeting. We have 3 minutes, if you don't mind.
Thank you very much. I intended to come to the budget board meeting yesterday, but I was unavoidably detained. I'm here to offer some public comments about the boondoggle that has become the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office administration and management of the facility that I just came from. Here's my intake number from yesterday, 577. Now, I was caught by a swarm of sheriffs in the lobby of this building without any identification on me on my way to make public comment here. And there was an outstanding warrant for exercising my Second Amendment that was used against me to silence me. And it's not the first time that someone's tried to use that to silence me, but it was time well spent while I was in there. I had a litany of comments to make about Sheriff P.D. Taylor's policy regarding these ICE holds, these 48-hour detainers that are being requested by a federal law enforcement agency, 76 of 77 sheriffs in Oklahoma who honor those, one county that does not. The reason that inflames me is because whenever I go to get my friends and neighbors out of that place, I have to pay off court fines and traffic tickets from wherever in the world, Oklahoma, before they will let them out of there. It's cost me so much time and money and aggravation, I cannot describe it. I'm going to pivot, though, because I was greatly encouraged as I went through that facility yesterday. What I was not allowed to come here and say, I went in there and said, and not only the sheriffs and detention officers that were in there agreed with me and are so happy to see this trust taking over and making these decisions now, but the inmates were also in agreement. 4 out of 10 of which I will tell you easily in each holding cell were there for court fines and failures to appear. This debtor's prison that we have set up here in the most incarcerated state in the country. So I want to know why an illegal alien rapist immigrant from El Salvador can walk out the door 90 minutes into a 48-hour hold that's been requested and honored all over the country, but my guys have to have all of their outstanding issues. If they forgot to leash their dog when they took them out, I have to take care of that. So I just want to tell you guys that the boots on the ground that are in there, those detention officers and those sheriffs, they support what's happening here. They are completely dissatisfied with this administration's actions over the last several years. And I'd like to say that this ICE policy is the straw that broke the camel's back, but it is huge. They are embarrassed that they have to enforce this policy. And they told me flat out, it's the sheriff's policy. We don't like it, but that's the way that we have to operate. So these rank and file guys are catching this shade over citizens and taxpayers asking, why am I more incarcerated and more infringed upon and have to go through more trouble to engage my government than people who are not from this country, that are citizens of other countries? They're not from nowhere. Now, a little bit
seconds left, Mr.
A little bit of advice for the sheriff's office in the future. If you do have somebody coming in with a warrant and they're about to go and spend days and nights untold in that place, you might at least want to let this board or any other body of county government hear them out first. That would probably be a good public relations move.
Thank you, Mr. Morissette.
Thank you for everything that you guys are doing.
Over 20 years ago, Alex Jones created the media platform called InfoWars, and in the decades since, it's grown into a truly remarkable institution with over 200 radio affiliates, tens of millions of unique website visitors monthly, and a 24/7 live news TV channel broadcasting from state-of-the-art studios in Austin, Texas. InfoWars has become the most trusted independent news source in the country, dedicated to delivering breaking news, live coverage of special events, and exclusive reports you won't find anywhere else. While the old guard media struggles to maintain supremacy in a landscape rocked by innovation and technology, InfoWars has been at the forefront of the information revolution. From 8 million radio listeners, over 2 million YouTube subscribers, or the billions of views of our online content, InfoWars proves dominant in every facet of media we enter. For the hardest-hitting reports, uncompromising analysis, for high-profile interviews and bombshell revelations, accept no substitutes. Demand truth. Demand InfoWars. InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
This is undoubtedly the most important broadcast we've ever done.